Common law murder is the unlawful killing of a human being with malice aforethought. Malice refers to the defendant's intent when the murder was committed. There are 4 categories of malice for common law murder. There's intent to kill, intent to do serious bodily harm, depraved heart murder, and felony murder. The first 2 categories, intent to kill and intent to do bodily harm, are pretty self-explanatory. The only difference between them is the intent that needs to be proved to convict for that crime. Intent to kill requires specific intent, meaning the defendant had to intend the act. Rather, they had to intend to attack the victim, and the defendant also intended the result, the death. Intent to inflict bodily harm requires general intent, meaning the defendant intended to act, he intended to attack the victim, but he didn't intend the result, the death. In order to determine which category of malice applies, you need to look at all the surrounding circumstances regarding the attack, such as the defendant's behavior, the defendant's statements, the attack duration. For example, was it a single punch or a prolonged beating, and was a weapon used? Depending on the circumstances, a weapon can raise the inference of intent to kill or intent to injure. It really depends on how the weapon is used. Even a defendant's fist might be considered a deadly weapon depending on how the attack occurred. Another thing to keep in mind is transferred intent. A defendant may have acted with intent to kill person A, but accidentally kill person B. Under the doctrine of transferred intent, the defendant's intent to act will transfer to person B, as if the defendant had intended to kill or harm person B in the first place. Any mitigating circumstances the defendant could have asserted for person A, such as to argue voluntary manslaughter, can also be transferred and applied to person B. The third category is depraved heart murder. It's an unintentional killing which is the result of conduct involving wanton indifference to human life and a conscious disregard of unreasonable risks of death or serious injury. Or, to put it another way, there are certain deliberate acts in this world that are highly dangerous, and it just so happened the defendant decided to do it anyway, without actually intending to injure or kill anyone. A classic example of this is playing Russian roulette. Sure, you might not have intended for anyone to die, but the reality is, when you hold a loaded gun to someone's head, there's a significant chance someone's going to die or be seriously injured. Or, another example could be, someone's driving through a park to watch pedestrians dive out of the way, a pedestrian falls over, gets accidentally run over, and later dies from their injuries. The last category is felony murder. It's a murder that occurs in the course of a BARC felony, or an attempted BARC felony. BARC stands for burglary, arson, rape, robbery, or kidnapping. So, when you see any of these crimes in a fact pattern, be on the lookout for deaths that occurred during these crimes, whether these crimes are completed or attempted. So that was a very brief overview of common law murder. I hope you found it helpful. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you did. Thanks for watching.